What's going on, travelers? Thanks for tuning in to the 31st episode of The Resonance, a weekly Genshin Impact podcast. I am your host, Dalton. With me is Pharaoh.
Yo, what's up?
Just a jam-packed pre-banter for our patrons.
For real, I can tell you're like excited now.
I am, yes. So before we get into anything, just want to give you guys a heads up. This will be completely spoiler-free. I had to pause and think about that for a second. Completely spoiler-free. We're not going to talk about anything other than our first impressions that are spoiler-free about 3.2 and the Archon quest. I have a feeling we'll probably spend a little bit of time talking about Nahida and how our pools went and stuff like that. But for the most part, spoiler-free, not going to cover anything. We'll probably cover only half of that quest next episode, because this Archon quest is long. It's probably longer than the first two Archon quests that we had when we first got to Sumeru, I would say.
Yeah.
And it was all good. So, but we'll give you our thoughts on that later in the episode. First, we're going to go into our review reading. Are you ready? It's all you, buddy.
Yes, I guess so.
Yeah? Are you ready? Did you get time to practice or no?
No, but I can wing it enough.
Yeah,
I think I know Venti's voice enough.
Cool.
All right. Let me just search for Venti in my mind real quick. And I need to channel that androgynous voice, you know?
Yes.
Actually, you know what? I am going to look up his voice. Real quick.
I had to look up Diona's.
I feel like I'm confusing it with someone else.
Yeah, I know.
1 second. Okay, here we go.
You gotta listen to the one where he talks about his tummy.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna type in Venti tummy line.
There you go.
Let's see what we come up with. Learn the alphabet with Venti. This is what came up.
That's nothing what you probably want. And you got a long one. I had a short one to read in Diona's voice.
Yeah. It's all right. I think I got this. I have watched only episode 28 through 29, and I am already loving it. My UID is 651-646-001, and I would love if you rated my character, and my birthday recently passed, so puppy dog eyes intensifies. If I could get a Welkin, that'd be nice. Hit me up in Genshin, and I will answer your pronunciation questions, and you can take my stuff for your characters. Anyway, I love this podcast and would love to see it go on till your dying days. Read this in Venti's voice, please. That is as good as we're going to get, I feel like. Did it sound anything? Did it sound anything like it? I feel like no. I felt like whenever I first started talking, I was like, oh, this isn't anything like I thought it would sound like in my head whenever I was going for it.
So the tone and lightheartedness I felt like was there, but the sound was not.
Was off.
Not Venti. But
hold on, wait. I'm listening to another. Hold on, I'm listening to another thing of his. Dawn Winery. It's, you know what? It's a hard voice.
It is a hard voice.
Because it's super odd because it's like more androgynous, right? So
yeah,
it is like a little more difficult to do because I just listened again and I'm like, oh, I just don't even know if I can hit that pitch.
I know Venti's voice actor is a female.
Yeah, it is.
I hope I got their gender right. Anyway, but I know Sarah Nacheni. Sarah Nacheni is Ash Ketchum's voice actor, and his voice is easier to do.
Yeah, true.
Than Venti's. So
I'm actually looking up the Japanese Venti voice real quick. I want to see what that sounds like.
It probably just, I don't know.
I want to see if it's actually very similar.
Is it really?
I mean, not in tone, but in the kind of more androgynous area.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyways, Good stuff there. Thank you very much for the review.
Happy birthday, by the way. Sorry, this review got pushed off a little bit because we were rushing last week, but
yeah,
happy birthday. Thanks for the review. Sorry you had to listen to it read like that.
I think he got himself a treat, or she got herself a treat. I don't know which one.
We'll have to look at his characters, but we won't do that right now. But we will. Yeah. We'll check it out because I did enjoy the last time we did that.
Yeah, that was cool.
All right. Before we get into the news, I want to give you guys our socials. Twitter, @HoYoCast. Instagram, @HoYoCast as well. You guys can check Twitter for Genshin news, little blurbs that I throw out there, screenshots, everything that I basically post. And Instagram, I give you guys short little clips of episodes. Sometimes it's stuff that we talk about after. Sometimes it's not related to Genshin. But I also started posting Genshin memes that are sent in our Discord. So I think those are a hit. And then we also have our Discord as well. Discord.me/theresidents if you guys want to hang out with our community. We do awesome things. We do streams. We're going to be doing more server events. Now that we have the replica feature in the teapot, we're going to be doing one of those very shortly. So yeah. Anyway, you guys can join the Discord, hang out with us. It's a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the news. We are going to start with the 2 new character announcements that we got. We're going to start with presumably the 4-star. We got
that's probably good.
Yeah. We got a new 4-star character. Well, they didn't say officially 4-star, but history just repeats itself, and it's very obvious which one is which.
Right.
So we'll go over.
I would be shocked if it played out any differently.
Could you imagine the world would be thrown into disarray?
Riot, dude. They would riot.
The first character is Faruzan, and they are a Animo Vision user, and they are known as the Enigmatic Machinist. How do you feel about that title, Machinist?
I feel like I don't know if this is mentioned anywhere or not, but I feel like they might come from Snezhnaya or something.
I'm gonna say no.
No?
Oh wait, hold on. So in Genshin they mention the Kashwar, which I guess are a school in Sumeru, like a house in Sumeru or something like that. And yeah, she's from Sumeru.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at this now and she's definitely from Sumeru.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it does say that there is a quote from a book, Introduction to Ancient Machines. So she must be really into machinery and probably like the ruin guards and the ruin monsters and stuff like that, I would assume.
I'm going to be really upset, honestly, if she doesn't, which I am assuming this is probably going to be the case where I'm going to be upset, because with a name like that and they're leaning into this like machinist thing, like she better have guns. Some like little robots and at least that she throws out to fight, something kind of new and interesting. And she can combine, she's an emo, as you said, or Animo.
Animo.
So
just keep
I would imagine like she could utilize that with like machines and stuff like that to make them, more dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, they even did the mechanical toys for that event.
That's right. So like, I don't know.
Would be
Do you
cool
know
if
it's the case or not? I don't remember.
I have no idea.
I feel like I saw a leak, but I don't remember. So
I saw a leak of her, but it had nothing. Oh, nope. I'm going to tell you, nope.
Nope. Man, that annoys me, man. I wish that they would, like, if they're going to lean in on that, like, actually make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like, let me see it play out in the character,
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. She looks really cool, though.
She looks good. I mean, I don't like the fact that we're getting an Animo Why do I keep saying that today?
I don't know. Did you watch Nemo recently?
No, that's the weird part. But I don't like the fact that we're getting two Animos, like,
Back to
together,
back.
basically. Yeah.
So I kind of retract my last statement about like the ruin guards and stuff, which, she might very well be interested in all that and study the ruined machines from Conria, but her bracelets kind of remind me of the new monsters in Sumeru in the desert. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about.
I think it might be kind of more tied to that than anything.
Yeah. Well,
so
if only that actually played out into her character, that'd be cool.
Yeah. The only thing we really do know is that she's not in or near the academia right now. I guess it says, "It is our hope that future generations of scholars will remember her name when she returns to the academia."
Okay.
So
it's interesting.
Yeah. I guess we'll get more info on her when we see the live stream program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now the big baddie, literally.
Mm-hmm.
The Wanderer, also known as Scaramouche, but Scaramouche is not his name. Just remember that his name is Wanderer. That is how he will be on his banner. Just like how Raiden Shogun is not the Raiden Shogun's actual name, the Wanderer is not this guy's actual name, but that is what his title is. But it is Scaramouche. Like physically, it's Scaramouche.
Yes.
Which I think this like threw Twitter into a chaotic mess because the drip is great, I think.
I mean, I don't know what's going on here yet. This is still very confusing to me.
Yep.
I haven't learned what was going on. I'm assuming they addressed this.
I have a theory.
In the quest at some point. Wait, do you not know about this yet? Like, I mean, as far as like, do you not know why this is the case yet?
Nope. I have no idea.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
So I would have figured for sure that this would have already played out in the quest.
Nope.
Wow.
Nah.
Okay.
So to give you the audio listeners, they've probably already seen this. Let's be honest. But the Wanderer, I gotta say, I can actually hear myself talking through your microphone.
Oh, am I too close?
You might be.
Oh, yeah, I think I might be. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I raised the volume a good bit. That's why.
Okay.
Okay.
I can no longer hear myself, so I think we're good.
Shoot, I hope that is okay.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
All right.
I just started to realize it like a few minutes ago, and then it got real bad right during that sentence, so I think it should be fine.
Okay.
All right. The Wanderer, he looks very different. Physically not different, but in his attire, completely different. So instead of donning the gold and purple electro attire, he is in this very royal blue and sky blue and white outfit.
Still has some purple though.
A little bit of purple, but definitely not as much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he has an animo vision, as you already know, but
yeah,
very different looking. Even his hat is like it's a different hat.
Yeah.
But I think he looks really cool. Still looks pretty evil, honestly. If you look at his face, he's like, still looks pretty evil.
So what's your take on this?
There's two things. The one thing, hold on, where is it at? I'm gonna read this whole story because I think this is really cool. It's a really well. I didn't read Faruzan's, but whatever. I don't really care. This one's really good, so I'm gonna read this one.
Okay.
On a fateful night, a figure arrived at a place that had once been called Tatarasuna. There should no longer have been residents there, but as if destiny had decreed it, a farmer had come there, picking naku weed to make a living. Thus, it was under the moonlight that he saw a phantom figure standing on the edge of the cliff. This person wore a wide hat that concealed their face entirely. However, the farmer could hear breathing through pitter-patter of the rain. A moment later, the figure spoke, "This is how humans should breathe." The farmer was terrified that he might have encountered some spirit and hurriedly hid behind a rock. The figure spoke again. "What are you afraid of? Would a passerby such as I hurt you? I am merely here to tend to the grave of a friend." Silence filled the air once more. The farmer peeked out from behind the rock and saw that the figure had vanished. A note drifted to the ground and was instantly soaked by the rain. 3 questions had been written on that piece of paper, along with the answers that were not yet fully written. If humans have a heart, why do they not fear the hearts of others? Due to their inferior nature. How should one treat others knowing full well their inferiority? That one's not answered. How can one be a human with being without a heart? One without a heart is hardly human. And then, I mean, the rest of it doesn't really say anything. It just says that Tatarasuna had been deserted for many years. It had been a long time since anyone came here to pay their respects, and even if there were, why would they appear on such a night? He is there to mourn a friend, and that has to be the
one mentioned.
The one mentioned in the previous Archon quest, that's mentioned in the previous Archon quest, which was like the boy, right?
Right.
So I'm thinking that this is before he's given his electro delusion.
I think so, yeah.
And this is who he was prior.
Yeah, so I think we're in agreement then. This is where I pinned him to be in his story.
Yeah.
So wasn't quite evil yet. Was still figuring things out, hadn't turned against humanity, because like I don't know if we're going to be getting a character that, at least in the moment that the character represents, is evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so this is a very hot topic with like the community, is that, you know, which characters are going to be playable, blah 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 blah. And so I think like the big thing is the community thinks we are only going to play inherently good characters that are, for whatever reason, are good and not bad, and therefore that is why we get a playable Tartaglia, but we don't get Child, right? We get Tartaglia, we don't get Child, the Harbinger child, we get Tartaglia. So I think we're getting the Wanderer, not the Balladeer. And I feel like that's kind of like, I don't even want the villains as characters, to be honest. Like I could have lived without Scaramouche being a character. But
I actually kind of, I don't know. I don't mind them doing this, actually.
I don't mind them doing it, but I could have lived without it.
Well, to me, it's just very pick and choosy. So, like, is every character going to conveniently have a time where they weren't quite evil that we can pull the character from, right? Or is it going to be like they're truly selecting only people who, you know, were started off, you know, inherently good, I guess, and then like, you know, through whatever means made them evil, like some external thing made them evil. Yeah. So like, I don't know what's going to be the determinant there. So, I still don't know. I don't mind him being a character though. But I guess I kind of have like, I kind of want everyone to end up being good in the end anyway. So that's kind of like, but that's not a good story. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
because that's a predictable story. So no one really like, that wouldn't be like great narratively, but I do like that somewhere like I get this good version of the Balladeer, I suppose.
Yeah, I know a lot of people thought, okay, maybe the Wanderer is going to be the quote unquote Scaramouche that we get after we defeat him in the Archon quest. And I think I probably would have liked that better, but it wouldn't have really made sense because it just doesn't like, fit his narrative
gone too
so
far.
Yeah.
Also, like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, anything could happen.
I don't know if I like the idea of.
I only like it more because it's more like canonically correct. Where like now I feel like if this truly is a before he was evil Scaramouche, it just doesn't feel right. Like, why is he there? You know what I mean?
Why are we pulling him from history?
Why is he running around in Teyvat with me? That's what kind of bothers me.
Yeah, it would kind of be like if we got what's her face?
Rosalind.
Yeah, Rosalind.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's weird because she's supposed to be dead.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, I know what you mean. It kind of screws with the timeline of it. Like you just pulled this person out of history, and now they're on my team. It's weird. So yeah, I mean, maybe, but it feels like he's too far to be redeemed. But I don't know. Maybe there's something special that happens there.
Yeah.
In the end, because I suppose you're right. Like it probably would feel better if we were only getting characters that were like canonically present now.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm very interested in how that happens. But okay. But yeah, I'm excited. I've already seen leaks from the data breach that happened that we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen leaks. I really like it. I know how you feel. I know you said it's a little lackluster to you, but I really like it. I think it's very fitting. But we'll see.
Very lackluster.
Okay, new permanent gameplay in Genshin Impact coming soon.
Yes.
We get a little bit of details on the Genshin Invocation TCG gameplay feature endgame, I guess you could say. It says Genius Invocation TCG will be a lighthearted, casual gameplay mode that has PvP at its core. All cards can be obtained in the game with no reward system tied to PvP. Travelers can not only invite different characters and NPCs to challenge them to a duel, but also play against their friends for fun.
So you and I are going to be playing this.
Dude, we are going to have a Resonance Discord Genius Invocation competition, and it will be like annual.
There we go. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Genius Invocation TCG will be, I already read that. It's just in a different box. So they show some different card displays. These look so good.
Yeah.
These look so good.
I don't know if they look like amazing, but I feel like I've seen like cooler things on like TikTok and Reddit and stuff like that for these characters that I wish that they would have went more towards.
I see what you're saying. But some of these are animated. We know that. Like
is that right? I forgot about that actually.
Yeah, like the Duluth card that you see in the picture in this post on HoYoLab is just a still image of that card, but like the flames are like, and his hair are like blowing around.
Right, they're moving.
Yeah.
Well, that changes it a bit. That makes it better then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these cards are characters, but they're not just playable characters. They literally show a Magu Kenki, which is really cool. So we're getting some of the enemies and stuff in these cards. There are some other card designs. There's some constellations in there. We see a Skyward Atlas, which is the basic 5-star catalyst weapon that you can get. That's in there. There's one of a Sweet Madame. So I'm wondering if these are, gonna be like item cards and stuff like that. Like I feel like this is very, like, at least so far this looks really thought out.
Yeah, I'm really wondering how far they're planning on taking it. Like what is the gameplay actually like? Are we getting like a full-fledged like Pokemon game system, or are we getting like, something like a more of a traditional
like a Hearthstone kind of thing?
Hearthstone kind of thing, or what? Because there's all different types. Like, I mean, I see like food and stuff, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is, well, I suppose they have heals and stuff like that, and in those. But yeah, I'm just curious to see like how they work all of this with constellations and stuff like that. Am I going to be upgrading this character that I have, or what? How is that going to work? So
yeah. So we'll see. Check out the post though if you guys get a chance, because there's a ton of designs that kind of give you insight to what kind of cards are going to be in the game. So very cool looking.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll save real quick, I just want to touch on this. Ancient Kingdom Guardians, behind the scenes of the creation of Ruin Monsters. This was posted by Genshin Impact literally like less than an hour before we started recording. I watched bits and pieces of it, but it's like a 20-minute long video, and they show you their thoughts basically on the design, and give you some behind the scenes looks on how they designed it, what their thought process on designing all of the different ruin monsters, how they interact with the environment and stuff like that. it really did remind me of I believe it was the special program for Sumeru, where you
Mm-hmm.
saw all the developers talking. And
Right.
it was kind of like that, but they really did take a lot into account when they were designing these monsters. So I definitely think you guys should check it out if you guys are bored. Like I said, it's a 20-minute long video. So if you're just like chilling in bed and you need to watch something before like falling asleep or something, this is like the perfect video for that. But it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's really easy to kind of get lost in the monotony of having to kill these things over and over and over again. And you got to kind of remember, like, whenever you saw it for the first time, like, these things are really well designed. Like, they're actually pretty crazy, and they look super cool. And so, like, you kind of have to stop and think about it again and be like, oh, yeah, like, this isn't just this monster I've slayed 1,000 times. Like, this is a really cool animated monster here.
Yeah, I like that you said that because that's a good point. And
Yeah.
in the video, they even go into like, you know, I remember the one quote from the video. They said, you know, we even thought about how would this monster fall to the ground, like if gravity just like kind of took it,
Mm-hmm.
and how would this monster, like, we want to make sure that the weight of this monster getting like thrown to the ground is portrayed well enough, like it actually would, to like make sure the immersion's there. So it's a very good video. So
Definitely.
okay, Teyvat Times Volume Number 5. All data collected from the America, Europe, Asia, and TWHKMO servers. To provide you with a better content experience, we will compile content from multiple versions and lower the frequency of releases.
Okay.
Okay, that's
nice.
fine. Cool. All right. Teyvat Times Volume 5, Record of the Best Travel Moments. Well, I need to maximize this because minimize it's pretty small. Okay. Let's see. After the release of version 3.0, the Statue of the Seven in Sumeru was first unlocked by a traveler from the Asia server. Travelers, are you curious about the height of the colossal ruin guard on Dvanka Mountain? After Paimon asked around, it seems that just the part visible from the ground is tall as 19 ordinary ruin guards. That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Sumeru beasts and where to find them. Very funny. During your exploration of Sumeru, you have surely seen many sumpter beasts. They are super cute, right? The desert ones are much cuter than the forest ones. Yeah, I agree.
Wrong.
That's not in there. Our data reveals that...
Why would it be? That would make no sense.
Our data reveals that 632,994 travelers were defeated by angry sumpter beasts.
Wow.
With this achievement, the shaggy sumpter beast is now at the top of the list of Sumeru's most dangerous animals. You think anybody died from like... Oh, I guess you can't really die from like a crab. I remember there was an ESO, the MMO, the Elder Scrolls Online MMO.
Mm-hmm.
The crabs, if you attack them, they would attack you back. I remember like somebody died to a crab.
Okay. I would have figured like the scorpions are probably up there and most dangerous now too.
Probably.
Because those things are just annoying.
Yeah. Red vultures have recently become a favorite target for archery enthusiasts. According to our survey, an average of 1.47 million red vultures are shot down every day. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
The pigeon...
I've done it a couple times though.
Have you?
Yeah.
I have pretty much
whenever
ignored
I see
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't though, because I run low on Sweet Madame all the time, and I'm like, geez, I need to run the expedition for the fowl, and I could just kill a couple of those. But new culinary trends. While exploring Sumeru, travelers seem to have collected a lot of raw meat. A traveler from the Asia server even collected 43,000 pieces of it in the last month. Thanks to the increased production of raw meat, the production of Matsutake meat rolls has also increased by 12.43%. Despite this, they did not exceed that of the Sweet Madame, which is still in the lead. Better be. It's the best one so far.
Definitely.
Travelers have attained a lot of food recipes. According to Paimon's research, pita pocket stood out as Sumeru's most popular dish among travelers. Man, I haven't had a pita in forever.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, man, I gotta go get myself a pita.
Yep. When exploring the desert, did you see tumbleweed drifting in the desert? 81.37% of travelers choose to break them, which allowed them to obtain the achievement Drifting in the Wind. Travelers seem to be very passionate about breaking tumbleweed, destroying 294 of them in a day.
I did a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that is me.
Another traveler seemed to be very interested in scarabs that appeared in the desert and collected 461 of them in just one day. Why?
No idea.
Why would you want to collect that many?
That one doesn't make any sense to me.
I feel like they just did this to get into Teyvat Times.
They probably did, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Many travelers have attempted to enter the gigantic robot in the desert. However, you are never safe from danger on your journey. Paimon's investigation reveals that, unfortunately, over 349,000 travelers were defeated by the lasers fired by the gigantic robot. Sealy selection in the Lost Riches event, 37.34 of players chose the Moss Sealy. What did you choose?
I chose the Moss Sealy.
Okay. I'm sure a lot of people chose the Moss Sealy. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the runner-up for the next chosen one was the Viola, which I believe is the purple one.
Yeah.
And then 9.7 selected the Dayflower, which I believe is the golden one, I want to say. Or maybe Dayflower is the regular one.
Yeah, I don't remember which one the Dayflower is.
Okay. Stars of Weinlesefest. I almost said Weinlesefest, and that would have been a pronunciation error. After your arrival, an average of 24 million forest spores were expelled every day. That's a lot. 24 million. In Highwind Trial, a traveler completed each test in just 25 seconds on average. That's crazy. Yeah. In Charity and Creativity, a traveler managed to raise 1.21 million mora in total, saving the charity sale.
Wow, that's a lot.
According to our statistics, in the first phase of the event, 43.07 of travelers found all the fecund hampers in less than 15 minutes. And then they have a Teyvat anecdote. On a bulletin board in front of a cafe in Sumeru City, Nailu left a message to express her love for Gata. And Gata seems to really like Nailu as well. Travelers, do you know who Gata is? It's a cat. There's a picture of a cat with a question mark, so I'm assuming it's a cat. So
I'm thinking a cat, yeah.
Now I know I'm going to go to that board, and then I'm going to go and find the cat and take a screenshot with it.
There you go.
Very cool. I like when they do this. So
yeah, I do. I don't know. I do like the smaller ones that come around more often. So rather than the big dump of statistics.
Well, sorry to break your...
Yeah, that's my future, so it is what it is.
Deal with it.
Yep.
Okay, that's it for the news. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to give our first impressions, and spoiler-free impressions, I should say, on 3.2 so far, how we feel about it, and give our thoughts on Nahida. And I'm pretty sure that's about it. I know we have the event, but we can wait till next week to talk about the current event. I want to see what the last section of that event is, and that doesn't drop for like another 2 days, I think. So,
yeah, that's fair.
Let's take our break, and then we'll talk about 3.2. We are back from our break. Now let's talk about 3.2, our first impressions. Let's start with our pulls. How have our pulls gone? You want to go first, or should I go first?
You go ahead and get your news out of the way there.
I see someone's a little salty. Proper streamer luck fashion. I only spent $50. I was only going to spend $50, and I thought, okay, I'm going to control myself a little bit, even though Nahida is like broken. If I was going to spend money on anybody, it probably would have been her. Or more money, I should say. But anyway, I hard limited myself to $50. I think I got to 55 pity, something like that. It was like 55 or 45. And it was a guarantee, so I knew I was going to get Nahida. So I got Nahida on, like, I think the second pull. And it was great. I was super happy. I was like, yes, I got Nahida, right? Like, dang. And then every time I pull a 5-star, and I think this is just from like watching YouTube videos, I'm always like, because they're always like, oh, give me a double, give me a double, give me a double. They're greedy. Every streamer on YouTube is greedy.
Yeah.
They're never happy with their 1 5-star. They always need to ask for a double from the RNG gods. Well, in my head, I thought it would be insane if I got a double. But I just kept clicking through. And then I got a double, and I damn near jumped out of my chair. I got 2 Nahidas in a single 10 pull. I lost my mind. I cursed to the high heavens. That's how excited I was. It was funny, though, because I probably spent like a good 10 minutes on Nahida's splash art for the first pull. And a lot of people were like, all right, like, congrats, I'm heading out. And then I was clicking through, and then I got it, and everybody was like stayed for like another 20 minutes. Yeah. So I got very lucky. I got C1 Nahida.
And this is after your ridiculous luck. Like, this is what, like, if it was just that, I'd be like, you know what? Congratulations. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Glad it happened for you. But this is stacked on top of the Sino experience.
Yeah. The C2, R1, 7 5-stars total in 200 pulls.
Yep.
Yep.
So I just have nothing but hatred for you right now. I'm stewing in it right now. Just listening to you play back that story.
Just wait till we get the Wanderer.
Well, I don't know if I'll be pulling. Well, I'll pull in the Wanderer, but I'm not gonna drop money on the Wanderer. Based on what I've seen so far. So unless his numbers are absolutely insane, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yep.
But yeah, so for me, it wasn't too bad. I didn't have, anywhere near the luck of Dalton for Sino or Nahida, but it was about 120 pulls, and I got 2 Nahidas. So, it's an average of 60 pulls each. So, not great, not terrible.
You wanted her at C2 though, right?
I want her at C2, so I am going to have to. I'm continuing to pull, waiting for another one. I'm not on a guarantee or anything. I will be getting C2, so that means the wallet will come out if it needs to.
So are you like fresh out of gems right now? Like you're just
I was fresh out of gems, yeah.
So now are you doing like single pulls now?
I'm waiting until I get 10, and then like I'm pulling 10 at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, as soon as I get 160 gems, it's on.
I want the potential for a double. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because I know if I pull it at one at a time, if I get 1, I'm done. But yeah, if I could get 2, that'd be fine. Granted, on like I don't really care to get her C3, right? So maybe I should just pull 1 at a time. I don't know, but either way, yes,
I do, because I am hard like being very stingy with my pulls right now. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot coming, like even beyond the Wanderer. So
yeah,
like Alhaitham's on my radar, like heavily. But granted, like I really need a good cryo character. Like I've been wanting a good cryo character to come out.
I mean, are you gonna pull on Yai for Layla? I know, like she's still like a 4-star, like not a 5-star. So
yeah, no,
it just sucks, right? Because she comes with 2 characters that you probably already have.
Yeah,
that's like the shame. Like it's just such a shame. I don't like that they do this. I would have much rather them just put the 4-star with, but they make more money that way.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have to see. I feel like we're getting a lot of the same elements recently. And I know that part of that is because of, Dendro being the new element. So they're trying to create an influx of those kinds of characters.
Yep.
To give some variety. But yeah, it's still a lot of, I feel like there's just been a lot of Electro, and there's been a lot of, Dendro.
And Pyro.
Anything else. And Pyro too.
So we had Klee, we had Joy.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll have to see. But either way, it was, I'm so glad to have her. Nahida's awesome. Her animations are sick. She is a totally broken character.
Mm-hmm.
She is all you're going to need to destroy things. She's hands down the single best non-healing support in the game. So yeah, any kind of she will destroy any reaction combination that you want. So like you can literally, as long as you have her, you can make any reaction team like next level.
Yep.
So very good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really liking Nahida. While it's not the popular opinion, I've already swapped Dendro MC out for Nahida with my Sino team.
Mm-hmm.
The only bad thing is, I have to swap out to Nahida to reapply the Dendro, but I make sure that I have Sino's Burst back already before I do that. So, but still really good. I'm really enjoying Nahida for sure.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Okay, so talked about Nahida. Let's give our first impressions / spoiler-free thoughts on the Archon quest so far. I guess we can really just go into it how we did with the pre-banter, but
mm-hmm.
You want to go first? You want to take it away?
Yeah, so I'm about 50% of the way. Dalton's like through it further than I am, so he kind of guesstimated I'm around 50% of the way through, and it is very good. I've been having a very good time with it. It's super dialogue heavy so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really just go here, talk to this person, then we talk to this person, then we talk to this person. So, which I don't mind because it's I don't want to say that.
Gotta be careful.
Myself. Yeah, censoring myself while I do it. But yeah, it's good. It feels right. Like it doesn't feel just like super boring. I am very intrigued in it, and it's keeping me focused. So that's good. There is a major issue though. Like I am stopped at the point where I'm at currently because not by choice, but because I have been forced to stop by the game itself. It's funny because I actually saw an article about this yesterday, and I was like, oh no, I hope this doesn't happen to me. And sure enough, it happened to me.
Is it a bug?
No. No, it's not. It's not. It's just unfortunate. If you have not completed some of the other character quests, some of the recent ones, Nailu is blocking me from finishing this quest. So I need to talk to her. This isn't, I guess, I can say this. Like I need to talk to Nailu basically. And it won't let me talk to Nailu in the main quest until I finish up with her character quest because I had already accepted her character quest but not completed it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So yeah.
So I'm screwed. So I have to by screwed I mean like I have to just complete her quest now before I can do anything. But yeah, I've now completed like probably around a third to maybe half of her quest so far, and I still can't do it. I thought maybe okay, if I just like move her out of this part of the story, it will let me do it, but no. It looks like I need to complete the entire story before I do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad.
It's frustrating to me because it's losing the momentum of the story for me.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you probably got to the part of and that's a real shame for you because you just got to the part where if you weren't interested, you're interested now. Exactly.
Like I just got off a real high and then I'm like, oh, all right, I gotta see what happens next. And then it's like, complete this entire character quest before you do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? So I have to then like readjust my brain to not be thinking about what's going on there. This giant epic. It's like playing this super mundane story when a giant epic battle is just like waiting in the background for you. And you're trying to keep your brain off of that. And I'm like, I have priorities here, and it's not this nonsense that I'm about to do with you, Nilo. So,
yeah.
A little difficult.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's the case for just her, or if it's for some of the other characters as well. I heard that it was multiple from the article that I read on
Did you
IGN,
do Sinos story quest yet?
Yes.
Then you should be good. There were only those two.
Okay.
Since we came
I
to
didn't know.
Sumeru, right?
I didn't know if anything in the future comes because I haven't completed the quest yet, so I didn't know if there was more.
There shouldn't be.
Yeah, because depending on how far you go back, I mean, I'm not sure.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it depends on.
I actually don't know
that completed or accepted. So it seems like there could actually be quite a few roadblocks if you have accepted all of these characters and not done any of them. I feel like you could be blocked a lot.
Right, yeah.
So yeah.
My thoughts on the quest so far. Now, granted, I'm like tying the bow on this package. It's pretty much wrapping up now. It's really good. Like Pharaoh said, it's very lore heavy, very dialogue heavy. But because there's so much lore sprinkled out throughout that dialogue, it makes it bearable. It's way better dialogue than when we were going through the Samsara event with Nahida and Dunyazad, where that was just like the constant like loop in the dream. So this is like the complete opposite of that. But it's really good. I have been paying very close attention to every single word they say, because obviously before I was just rushing through everything and not really taking anything, but some of these characters, they say things and it makes you think, oh, why did they say it like this?
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean? And they make take note, because they do make really good use of quotation marks around certain words. Like, for instance, like the traveler might say, oh yeah, I need to take care of that thing. And then they put quotation marks around thing. And it's like, well, what is that? And that makes you think. That was like the best example I could give without being giving spoilers. But if you enjoy the lore and you're ready for everything to kind of tie back to this topic that causes tension but isn't talked about a whole lot, we're getting there. I feel like we're kind of now we're on the right path to finally getting some answers. So but yeah, really good. There is just one part which we all know that, you know, the big villain of this Archon quest is Scaramouche, but I just have a hard time believing the desperation and the anger that they gave Scaramouche in this Archon quest. I feel like it's a little bit watered down.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't feel like he is as angry or as insane as he should be. And I just feel like they whoever wrote it, I guess, he just doesn't seem desperate enough as he did before. And I try to fix it in my head to the point where I'm like, okay, well, you know, Scaramouche isn't really like a desperate kind of guy. He's always kind of like very laid back and cool, calm, and collected almost.
Not really. He seems tortured. At least for a while, he seemed very tortured.
I mean, if you go back to like and watch the cutscenes of him in Mondstadt, he's like walking up to like the Traveler, official.
Oh yeah,
Mona.
superficially though.
Oh yeah, but
but you get to see the cracks quite a bit, and it ain't good when you see the cracks up to, you know, the part where I just got past, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to play through the rest and tell me what you think, because I feel like there wasn't enough oomph behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it felt like he was acting.
Right. And for me, it's interesting because like I have issues with it either way, I think, because I didn't even mention this in our pre-show, but I think, and now this is something from the previous part of the Archon quest, so I think I can say this, but whenever we get to see like a bit more of his backstory, right?
Yeah.
I felt like with how crazy he seemed and like his motives and, you know, the things that he was preaching, I thought that those were a little extra for what happened to him. I didn't think that there was that much justification for him being that insane about it. But I was like, whatever, I'll let it slide. Not the worst thing ever. But then now, as you said, I feel like it's just slightly watered down from where it was. So now I'm like, okay, they built it up and I already thought that was extra. Now they're watering it down from that extra, you know, area. And I'm like, now it doesn't feel right because he already showed that before. So like, I feel like either way, it doesn't seem great. So I don't know how it ends and how I'm going to jive it in my mind, or maybe they do some stuff that, you know, makes it all line up for me at least. But I am curious to find out. I just need to finish up that the other quest.
Yeah, and I don't want to like say, oh, it's bad. Like it's not a good Archon.
You told me it was very, very good.
This overall is probably my favorite Archon quest so far.
Okay.
And for
I don't know, man.
For multiple reasons. I mean, it's tough though. I kind of take that back because the Zhongli Archon quest with all that was so good, but I don't know. There's something about in this quest, you know, without being spoilery, you touch base with a lot of different characters in this Archon quest, and it felt like you were all working together for a common goal, and it made me think like when crap really hits the fan at the end of this game, like in version 8.9 or whatever it is, when it hits the fan, I want it to be like this, where every character comes in.
So,
like, I want an Avengers Endgame moment. And
I think... Sorry, go ahead.
Not that this Archon quest was like an Avengers Endgame moment where like everybody was just charging together, but everybody worked very cohesively and it made sense. So, but I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, like, I feel like with the first Archon quest with Venti, right? That was the weakest, but it also had one of the coolest / most different final fights, which was I fought a dragon while flying through the air and shooting out laser beams and stuff.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I was like, yeah that was pretty cool. So it's got that. I think overall I like the Archon quest with Zhongli the best, just because I feel like he as an Archon is just so awesome. You know what I mean? So any interaction with him is just gold. So I feel like he's the highlight of that for me. And the story is awesome, and you get to also Ningguang is an amazing character, and she has a heavy part in that too, right? So there's two big characters there that I really, really love. And then whenever we go to Inazuma, I think that one probably had the more interesting quest so far as like this kind of cloak and dagger narrative of what was going on. So I like that. But this one feels, and it also had the coolest cutscene I think I've seen so far as well, as far as part of the Archon quest.
Right.
But this one was the biggest community-driven one.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
Like this one for sure. So that's what this one has going for it. And I do really like that aspect. Like I feel more so like the characters are involved, where we have a huge array of characters that are directly involved in the Archon quest. Because we have that with other characters in the other regions, but not as part of the Archon quest as much. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, that's my take. I think everything has something good, but I think overall, for sure, Venti's Archon quest is the weakest.
I agree, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. Overall, so far, super good. All I'm hoping for right now is that after the cutscene, because I'm in a cutscene right now, which is actually we're gonna skip Wish of the Week this week.
Okay.
I'm stuck in a cutscene that I don't want to play on mobile as I record in my wife's closet. So I don't want to watch this cutscene on my phone. I want to like watch it like on my TV or on my computer. So every time I load up the game, I'm instantly thrown into it. So we're gonna skip Wish of the Week, but all I'm hoping for is that I get a nice high res cutscene, like not the gameplay cutscenes that we get. I'm talking like the ones that you just the cinematics, Yeah. So I'm hoping that one of those is just at the end and I want to cry. So that's it.
Fair enough.
So without further ado, let's go into question of the week and then we'll wrap up the show.
All right.
This one is from our good buddy Ran in our Discord.
Ah, okay.
In our question of the week channel.
Fellow new supporter, by the way.
Yes. Deptist here.
That's right.
Ran asked, your own vision is about to appear. What element do you think it will be?
Ooh.
And what do you hope it will be?
Ooh. Oh, that's good. That's real good. Oh, man, this is tough. I'm trying to analyze my life within seconds and see what I want versus what I should get.
Mm-hmm.
I think... By the way, I feel like we should establish this because this would legitimately change my opinion. We're taking this out of the concept of reactions and metagaming because I would pick if like, all right, if I was analyzing what I'd want, like the what I'd want part of the question, I'd be like, all right, well, what does the most damage? What has the best reactions? So if we take that out,
metaing it, but
yeah, exactly.
IRL.
That's where my brain goes. So let's strip it of that so we can get a more pure answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my head was not there. That was all you, buddy.
My head immediately went there. Okay. So what's yours?
Okay. So, I mean, I'm picking two visions, right? One that I think it will be and what I hope it would be.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So let's see. Electro. I don't know, man. This is tough.
It is tough. It's so good.
It's not going to be cryo. I am not a cryo person.
I wouldn't be cryo either.
I also don't think I would be Geo either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with, I want it to be Hydro.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it will end up being Anemo.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay, go
a little, just real quick, I feel like it would probably be Anemo because
justify it.
I'm a very laid back person,
mm-hmm.
and very go with the flow, and it's not actually how I'm more like Anemo. It's how I'm not like the other elements. Like I think I'm smart, but I'm definitely not extremely wise. So Dendro doesn't fit for me.
Well, that's the thing. What were I forgot what like each one stood for.
So Electro was the god of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like,
oh yeah, and then freedom was Anemo.
Freedom was Anemo. Dendro was wisdom, and Contracts is Geo.
I feel like I would be Geo.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I'm more analytical and I'm very by the book.
Okay.
So I feel like I would be Geo. I feel like I would want to be so independent of meaning, right? And I can kind of pick whatever I wanted despite its meaning. I would probably, I mean, Geo's good. Like that might actually be my first pick, but just to make it interesting, it's probably teetering on which one of these two I would actually want, but it would probably be either Geo or Hydro. So, because I really love like water.
Same.
I was a big swimmer, all the way through high school. And I still like whenever it rains outside, if it's like a rainy day, I go and sit outside and just watch the rain. So like I love like anything related to water. Like I've always wanted to. I love cruises and stuff like that because I just love being out on the ocean. I've always said I've wanted to own a sailboat, all that kind of stuff. So I'm definitely very water focused, but I feel like I would be Geo if we're relating it to, what it stands for.
Yeah, very similar to you. I'm very into like the water.
We're both into water.
Yes. I think I explained this too, like in one of the earlier episodes when I talk about why I like Mona so much.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, your bae is water, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think that she would deal with anyone else.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of memes with her and the Wanderer, and that really pisses me off. So
that really pisses me off.
But if you guys,
that's fair.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, you can leave a question in our Question of the Week channel in our Discord, and we'll read it on the show and give you guys an answer. Okay. Before we wrap up the show, we want to thank our patrons for supporting the show, making everything we do here possible. Thank you to Soupy, who was our Favonius Knight. Gene appreciates your contributions to the Order of Favonius. Mm-hmm. And we have Neku and Ran. Thank you guys, both of you guys, for supporting us at the Adeptus tier. Zhongli definitely appreciates your sacrifices that you make for this show. Okay, that's about it. Pharaoh, where can our listeners find you?
So obviously you can check us out on the Discord. I'm there too. You can also find me over at Chronicles of Runeterra. It's a podcast all about Arcane, which they just dropped some Arcane news recently. So I'm not sure what's coming out of it yet, but we'll find out in a few days. But yeah, we do everything there. You can also find me on the Dislight Discord, Dislight Directive, discord.me/the directive. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. All right. If you guys want to get a hold of us, well, I already plugged all that stuff. I don't feel like doing it again.
There you go. One and done.
Yeah. Next week, let's see. Assuming you made it to the end of the show, next week we will probably cover like the good first half, probably to where Pharaoh's at right now in the Archon Quest, which I think is a really good place to stop, honestly. And yeah, we'll probably do that. And so that next episode will not be spoiler free. We'll talk about the first half of the new Archon Quest. And hopefully get some more news to talk about. And we'll probably talk about the current event right now, which is the Adventurers Trials, I believe it's called. Mm-hmm. Which is like the Genshin Olympics, basically.
Yeah, I actually like it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So other than that, we'll talk to you guys next week.